What the? All right. So we're back here with another episode of the Iron Man podcast, episode 533. So I know I told you guys that we weren't going to be doing anything sports related, which is mostly just basketball, because that's the one I'm mostly knowledgeable about. Football, we can't do. Not that I can't do it if I honestly put my head and learn to it, and more based off like the little that I know about it. I only really like follow my own team. It's kind of the only team I really follow. So if people, obviously, like, I know like Tom Brady and a lot of other things, but I don't know it like enough in depth. Like I do the NBA, and I'm more of like I'm like a casual to like a hardcore fan kind of thing when it comes to the NBA. But I know enough to the point where we can start doing shows like these. And I told people, we're not going to do another one of these until October. But as you know, I'm black. I lie. It's just like CNN. Just Don Sweet Lemonade, Don Sweet loving lemonade in his ass. Guess he loves men lemonade in his ass too, honestly. Well, Darnell was like, we should watch the WNBA. And I was like, probably not. He's like, why not? It's because I have standards and I honestly want to waste my time watching dog shit. So he said, just watch Caitlyn Clark. And I was like, okay, anybody else? You got any like rivals? Is there any like storylines in this league? He's like, well, there's Angel Reese. And I'm like, yeah, because that was like my biggest problem with the league like this is because there's no one, when they talked about anything like narratives, storylines, who's won the most championships, who's like been the MVP the most, who deserved to be the MVP, who's like the most underrated player, who's the most overrated player. All that stuff that I just said applies to the NBA and like League of Legends competitively. You know what happens in this league? None of that. I hear none of that. I actually hear zero zip nada on anything that would be relatively good of knowledge to have. I subscribe to the WNBA YouTube channel. The actual subscriber number doesn't show, but to see how many subscribers they have, you have to actually click on the videos and watch. They have 333,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. The actual NBA YouTube channel has, let's just say, millions of subs, actually, And if you look at their content, because I looked at their YouTube channel, I try to see, like, is there any traction on these videos? They get, like, some decent traction. Like, they would get traction like your average successful YouTuber get, like, 5K on a video, 5K here, 4K here. If I ever had videos that did like 5K on average, that'd be fucking great. But Caitlyn Clark's videos, whenever she's in the title and the thumbnail, those views go from like 6K to like 50K. Honestly, they could put out literally a minute highlight of her, and then the views on that shit are in like the 70, 80K range. It's absolutely insane how much like she has actually increased the viewership of the league. So we'll talk about her. I'm going to talk about the WNBA expected to lose some odd millions of dollars in 2024. And I had to wonder, like, how did this league make money ever? And I imagine it didn't, because it reminds me of like the CW, actually. CW was never profitable from when it started back in 2007, actually. Never profitable. So it's like never profitable. That would mean that at most you either broke even, so you didn't make any money, or at most there are some years you probably lost money. So people have to know profit is the money you get to take home for yourself after all the expenses are paid. If you are constantly breaking even and never making any money, it's probably not a worthwhile business venture to be in, because why would you do it if you're not going to make any X level of profit? Because you're supposed to make profit in order to actually potentially reinvest in the company for better things, or you get stuff for yourself, because that's what hard work would imply, getting things for yourself. I don't really know. Like, this league is just at this point, from everything I looked into, basically just subsidized by the NBA, actually. Then people talking about salaries and all this shit, and it's like, I'll tell you guys this. When it comes to the job market, I know women have a problem with this too. Not every job is valued the same, just in general. So women are always arguing about equal pay, and it's like, there's a more broader layer of discussion to that. Not every job deserves the same amount of pay. And that's why I sound crazy to some people. The person that's packing your orders at Burger King does not deserve the same amount of money that a cop gets. It's just not how that should work, honestly. Two very, very different ways of how that would work, actually. So, yeah, I went through some of her games, and she's on the Indiana Fever. My God, she just like straight up just beat the shit out of those people. I mean, it was crazy. The last game that she played, they didn't even win. People are saying, when people talk about her, dude, people are talking as if like her team is like on top beating everyone. No, guys, her team is like 8-13 right now in the standings.
As bad as that is,
after that game,
I think they're still in the playoff hunt right now. And next weekend starts their All-Star break, so there's still another 3 months after this.
Yeah, so we'll be able to cover obviously more of this. I know there's the Team USA Team Europe thing going on right now with LeBron. Oh god, that was fun. He's out here trying to style on those guys. He just got destroyed. It's always so
really?
fun.
I didn't
When
see
somebody was
anything
looking,
about
I was
that.
like, looks pretty bad. But hey, that's why you get your son in the league, right? So you can just end up, outdoing you.
Yeah. His son, who's got some of the worst stats in the summer league right now.
Oh, so I was going through some of the standings for the WNBA, and I'm pretty sure their standings right now is 8-14 after that game. Her team isn't even like the best team, despite her basically being like the MVP, rookie of the year type shit. It's going to show you how much she's doing for that team right now.
I'm going to make this comparison. I don't mean it like literal. They're the same, but
I do.
It's back how
women.
Jordan. Look at Jordan in the 84, 85. He came out, and you'd swear the Bulls were the top team in the league when people talked about Jordan, but they were a trash team. He even talked about how shit the team was when he joined them. It took a few years for them to find their footing, and it's kind of similar thing. She comes in and there's all this talk. She's like blowing up the fucking league with points on a trash team. No, well, I'm sorry. I'm not saying the women are trash. I mean, their record is trash.
There's one other girl on her team that tries to play as much as she does. It's one of the I forgot the black girl's name. It's the one where she regularly dribbles down the court and throws it to and passes it to very often. She's the only other person even trying to win. Right now, they are currently, let's see, actual standing. I don't even show anything. Okay, so there are 11 wins, 14 losses right now. That's where they're at.
What
they're
place
seventh.
are they? Seventh, okay.
They're in 7th place right now. So you have New York Liberty is 21-4, Connecticut Sun 18-6, Las Vegas Aces 16-7, Seattle Storm 17-8, Minnesota Lynx,
yeah,
16-8, Phoenix Mercury 13-12, and you have Indiana Fever down there. And whoever's in Dallas is trash, because they're fucking 5-19. So we ain't watching that shit.
What's Chicago's record?
They're 9-14. They're literally 2 games behind.
Yeah, that's what Reese plays for.
Yeah, I'll say she's actually pretty good herself.
Her name has been coming up with a Rookie of the Year candidacy because she has the most triple doubles of any rookie, and she holds a record of most triple doubles triple doubles in the season, which is it's kind of a feat, a triple double. As you score, it's 3 different categories. You have double digit, whether it's rebounds, assists, points, whatever. So I mean, her name has been coming up when Rookie of the Year talks.
I'm seeing her play, and I was like, she's pretty good. The only thing I think she has a problem with is she doesn't get down on defense like Caitlyn does. Because with Caitlyn Clark, what I noticed that when she plays, she'll go up, get the rebounds constantly. She'll try to make sure she's always getting the ball. Angel Reese is very comfortable with kind of letting her team do some of the work too.
That's how basketball is now. You stand by and wait for the ball to be shot, and you don't even try for it. You don't play defense.
Yeah, defense is horrible, man. I was watching some of these games, and I'm like, I can see why people don't watch this. This is actually pretty criminally bad. By criminally bad, because I was watching the worst teams play, and obviously that's not an indicator of the best teams, obviously. But I would see girls quite literally miss some of the easiest shots possible. Some of them aren't even playing defense. People say that, what defense? I've seen games just from this past day where I was doing all this prep for this show. Oh God, there is a time. Caitlyn Clark ran down the court. She looked at the girl. She's looking at her. She did the pass where she threw it behind her. How did someone not see that? She's looking at the other girl, looking at the other one. Where do you think she's throwing? She's not going to try and shoot that in front of you. It's very obvious she wouldn't. There ain't no defense in this league. People just be doing just whatever. It's like the Wing Dragon of Raw, in YuGiOh, when it was just doing all this stuff in the anime. When the card text for a meme was just do whatever. Caitlyn Clark is just do whatever. No one is doing anything to her. Some of the ladies aren't even prepared for what she's doing to them.
No.
I saw her run through 4 women. I saw her run through 2 women, cut through, almost under the basket, threw it up, and made it. No one's throwing in any line of defense.
No, yeah, like
why would people watch this, guys? This is terrible. Dude, they're not trying.
To be fair, the NBA is almost just as bad with defense. They don't play.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah,
they don't want to be on a poster as like the guy being dunked on or scored on. She was definitely taught to play with fundamentals. How the age I grew up in, 80s and 90s, we were taught fundamentals. There were some practices, 3-hour practice. We didn't touch a basketball. And it was working on just footwork, handwork, and learning like to observe the court and like pre-plan for shit happening. She was definitely taught fundamentals, but in both leagues, it's defense isn't a priority.
Man, some of these games are like criminal. How bad? I'm not even saying she's bad. If you actually watch the game, she's actually very impressive. I can see why people think she's really good, or she's like the next coming for like this league in general to be like the Michael Jordan. She's very talented.
She is the girl.
I would like to see her
in her range.
I don't know. I would like to see her challenged a bit more. Like it feels like she's just getting away with murder.
Well,
these games. They're not even really putting any pressure on her at all.
I watched the Fever Sky game. 3 Sundays ago, maybe 4. The last time they played, and when I turned it on with like 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, or 8 minutes in the fourth, I don't remember when. Indiana had a 10-point lead. In no time, it went from Indiana 10-point lead to Chicago. I want to say 10-point lead, and it was a mad scramble for Indiana. They caught up, and it was like one of those like last second shot to win the game things. That game got really fucking intense. That was a good one. I was like getting excited watching that one.
There was I was watching some of these games and people were like, "Oh, she's gonna bring the excitement." I wasn't really excited watching. I was just excited just for her because she was just going off. Like you could see the crowd in Indiana when she's playing. Whenever the team's doing good, super hyped. Whenever I watch any of the other teams play, crowd just looks so dead. They didn't even
if they're even there. Yeah,
no, yeah, like the one that Angel Reese is in.
Chicago.
I don't know if that was a home or away game, but they just felt so dead. Honestly, the same level of enthusiasm was not there. Honestly,
yeah.
I was like, okay,
you're right.
This is where we're gonna be at now. The league, okay.
You're right.
Like, who dragged me into this shit?
I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize.
Caitlyn Clark dropped 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds. First rookie history triple first I should say she's the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple double. It's awesome. So that's pretty good, I will say.
Yeah.
Oh God. So at this point, guys, she kind of runs the league, and not really even run the league. Her team is in 7th place.
And look,
that's really impressive too.
It is, and look, I really think there's a lot of hate on her, and I cannot stand when race is brought up as a reason for something. I fucking hate it. Like, you judge a person based on their character and their ability, not on their skin color. But there's so many. I watched so many videos of interviews, people hating on her because she's white, and they're saying she's only getting this because she's white. LeBron James, he's black, right? He had the same deal she got before the league, her first game, he got. And these same people were saying how, oh, yeah, it's time. Like, they were okay with it when it was him, but they're not okay with it when it's her. And they're saying it's because she's white. Like, no, it's not because she's white. She's good. People want to watch her. I mean, when the girl, when you got to play
rebound, double teams, she handles that very well. She steals.
Not just shoots, the girl with people in her face will drop a 3-point shot from way behind the men's mark and drain it. Nothing but net. I mean, that's something people want to watch. And I don't know what race she is.
I think the reason why people didn't watch like I did before is because no one said anything remotely interested to get you behind the league. And first of all, I think women's sports is not interesting. Even women don't watch women's sports. It's just not an interesting thing in general. You know, it's not something that I sit down and go, man, well, gotta see what the women are doing these days. You know, even girls will watch NBA games because there's hot dudes they can look at. Now, the thing is, if the WNBA had like a bunch of hot ladies in there doing some good gameplay, well, that would make more sense. But women are pretty unattractive in this league. I will say, just saying, women are
Well,
not good looking.
It depends on your preference. I happen to think there's quite a few attractive players in the league.
All five of your fingers. That's how much you can count. All right, okay, we're getting somewhere.
I do watch a lot of women's. I watch a lot of sports. Period. A lot. I mean, men and women. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I see some attractive. And for me, it's not all about the attractiveness. It's about their ability. Because I'm not into dudes, but I'll watch the shit out of NBA.
Oh, I love dudes. I love the way LeBron dribbles the balls.
I'll watch NBA because it's when they're not, yapping about social justice and trying to act like they know what they're talking about, and they're playing basketball. That's interesting. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they. I mean,
yeah,
good because that's what I care about.
I would want to see basically how ESPN talks about Caitlyn Clark as compared to talking about the other girl that she's supposed to be competing with. Oh God, imagine it's so cringe. Like Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. I remember when ESPN Esports was a thing. I'm pretty sure they had Skip Bayless be the head of that. Oh, that was so boring. Holy shit. If person that was him or it was someone else that he put in charge to run it was so bad, honestly.
I'm trying to remember because all I remember is some dude who has a show on a different network trashed esports. I think it might be Skip Bayless. He's got a show like on Fox or something now. Like he left ESPN.
Sorry, it wasn't Skip Bayless. My bad. It was someone else that was connected to ESPN that they put in charge of the ESPN esports side of it. So awful, so bad. Like, because everyone that talks about sports talks about what ESPN says, and it's like that's the reason why they have so much control because everyone just only talks about what they're talking about. If people did what we're doing, did their own level shows, start talking about things that what the average person might be thinking or might be saying, it wouldn't hold too much weight. And also, I think the reason why a lot of people don't get as enough traction as they do, well, obviously it's money invested into an advertising, all that stuff. A lot of people just aren't that interesting. I'm sorry, like the average person who say doesn't have a personality for this. A lot of people think it's just super easy to come on show and just have personality, be entertaining, and be fun and all that stuff. It's just not it, man.
No.
You know?
No.
Like Stephen A. Smith, people don't agree with him, but he's very entertaining by the way he acts, the way he carries himself. That shit is funny. I like seeing mental illness play out in front of someone's.
I was about to say, I used to watch a show out of Stephen A. Smith a long time ago. But years ago, I stopped giving two shits what he said because I disagree with a lot of what he said, and he was just giving out dumb takes on shit. He was bringing it to if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm remembering that he would it was like race was a big thing and dumb shit was like that didn't matter was a big thing, and it was like, dude, just talk to fucking sports. Or he would say something and be like, were you watching that game? Because I just watched that game and what you said wasn't how it fucking went. Like it wasn't like
they'll or what they'll do now, because they do this in League 2, or just people that do like some of the analyst desks. All they do is they don't even update their narratives anymore. They run with the same narratives they probably have been running with for years. They need to be all these narratives need to be updated. If they want people to be invested in the WNBA, they should probably make content that's, I don't know, interesting overall. Like the reason people don't find it interesting is because they've never done anything interesting with it. It could be it could be a successful product. It could be, but that also really depends on, you could dump money into these things, but if at the end of the day, people just really aren't interested in it, that's just an interesting people will go wherever the money's at or where it's going to get entertained.
Right, you brought something up a little while ago. There's no rivalries. There's nothing to draw people in. There is now. And I remember back when the league first came out, I used to watch that shit. I was like glued to my TV when a game came on. And I mean, there was, I want to say, there was rivalries because I watched a lot of college basketball, and a lot of the women moved up into this league. I was watching rivalries from college into the pros, but there hasn't been anything like that in decades. This is the first one, and it's getting people to watch. And I am not saying that people should be blindly saying, "Oh, Caitlyn Clark's, she's our savior," like players saying this. But for fuck's sake, this woman is bringing in viewership. She's bringing in money, and what's up? And the reason is to just shit on her. Like, she's bringing attention to your game. I'm not saying give the woman a fucking award, but don't try and. I mean, if you want, you're taking the hand that feeds you, you're biting it. Pretty soon, the hand's gonna stop feeding you.
You remember when they were facing in Minnesota just a few days ago? This is the thing that I've noticed in her games. The game that she's a part of, it feels like the best players on whatever woman team she's facing, it feels like they want to try even more to beat her now.
Yes.
That's the thing, people. Her being in the league drives competition. I'm not saying even if you don't think she's the best, that doesn't mean anything. What matters is that it inherently is giving people more drive to try harder and play better. That means they're like, well, I don't want to lose to her. I don't lose to that white. Even if they are racist, who cares? They're gonna think like, I don't lose to that white girl. I want to actually get my fucking best out there. That's good. That's really good. Because that would imply before that people didn't really give a fuck, honestly. They just did the fuck all performance.
That's what your game
and I'm not saying they did, but now that she's here doing this, you can tell there's more hype and anticipation when watching the games because the girls want inherently trying more now. You think all these crazy black women want to be showed up by a white girls coming in? No, they don't, because that would improve one thing. Either they're frauds before, they're just coasting and just getting paid all this money just doing nothing. Now they have to prove something. That's good. That's inherently competition, and that'll drive more views, and that'll drive the women to improve and play better. How would it not?
Yes, I'm sure there's some of the players are mad that they have to actually perform now.
Yeah, there was a 3-pointer she made at I think second quarter, about 10 minutes or 8 minutes in. Oh my god, she just deep threes. She's insane.
Dude, I'm telling you, like she crosses that half court line, she's in her range.
Well, what else can she do though? I'm looking at her games and I feel so bad because there's only one other player that she has helping her out. Everyone else is just kind of just not good.
And that was the thing with Michael Jordan. He was probably the only player on the team that was really trying. And this is on his account of what happened. He talked about how when they were going to away games, most of the teams partying in a room, getting high and drunk before a game, like the night before a game, and he's in his room, and he's the only one prepping for the next day. I'm not saying the women are doing this. Just using it's kind of like a similarity here. Like
the part where one of the ladies tried driving. Oh shit! One of them tried driving. It was in the second quarter. Caitlyn threw it to her. She was driving. Yeah. Oh my god! Oh shit! Might be the biggest L I've seen in a while. Oh, my stomach hurts. She was driving. She actually did the right thing. She went under. She did a spin and she threw it back. It's just so ugly. And it's just missed. And she lucky. Dude, the other girl who's helping Caitlyn Clark out, she made it for her off the rebound. Like, what else can you do? Honestly, I really like. I don't think she's gonna win. Like, she's gonna hold the trophy, guys. I don't know about that. We saw this with the Mavericks, with an NBA. There's only so much you can do. That's just how team games go. There's only really so much she can do. And with the other girl on her team, to the point where they have basically one play style. Caitlyn Clark does everything, and then she trusts the other girl to make the easy layups inside the key. That's it. That's their gameplay. There's no way you can't win a trophy after that. I'm sorry.
No,
I mean, unless she literally is the next coming of LeBron of Michael Jordan for this league, then maybe she can. But people are gonna figure that play style out. Like her play style, you can easily figure it out.
I mean, even if it will take years, and I'm gonna say this, which is I don't give much props to current current game of basketball, but I find players now can adapt to games quicker than they did back when I grew up in the 80s and 90s. They can adjust quicker, and they can shut a game down. And they're gonna. I mean, they've already shown that they're gonna do that. They could do that. I mean, I'm not saying she is the sole reason that they have their wins, but I think they'd have a lot more. They'd have a lot more wins if
she's about 90% reason why. And by 90%, I probably mean 95. The other 5% goes to the other lady. That's it. It's much easier when someone's firing like on all cylinders to play. It's like I was watching their game against Minnesota. It was pretty neck and neck, honestly. It was really close. And that's the one of the games that I was watching. I was like, okay, it kind of felt like the other girls are helping her out in this one. But like, so outside of the Minnesota game that she just played, the other girls, I forgot her name, the main one that usually helps her out. The other ones were kind of stepping up, but that's not been a consistent thing. It's not been a consistent thing. Her team helps her out at all. Most times she has to do everything for them. Guys, picture me, everything. Okay.
And if you remember back when is it Kennedy Carter, the girl who came from the sky, who came behind her and just shoulder blocked her and the play was dead and knocked her down and got a foul. I want to say there was a few interviews I saw. It was on social media, not on ESPN or anything, but it was from the ESPN and other sports channels talking about how no one stood up for her when she got knocked down. Like none of her teammates. Like in the NBA, you do that to a player, that bench is clearing. They're coming for you. In baseball, batter rushes the pitcher, that bench is clearing. They come into his defense. Like, and I get the women's game isn't as intense as the men, but there's no one on the court even like it seemed like no one on the court was doing anything. I don't just mean like ability wise, but like morale wise. They were just kind of like letting her.
There was the other white girl.
They were letting her get her shots taken.
There was the other white girl that they put in for Indiana when they were at the fourth quarter, when it was 6 minutes in, when it was about to be over. She was doing pretty good. But the problem here, guys, is like, I don't know who their coach is, but they really have to cycle out some of these players. If some of these players are not giving any level of defense or getting the ball to Caitlyn Clark when they need to, or messing up easiest shots they can, I just don't see them winning. I can't. I want her to win. I want her to hold the trophy. I want in a season she holds the trophy. I would love to see that. Not with a team like this. What their team just reminds me of the Mavericks, honestly, that I saw earlier this year when you guys had me watch the NBA stuff. It's kind of just two people doing something, and then that like we know that that's about to get figured out later on. It's just what it is, you know. She says sometimes you can have passion about something and not have the talent for it. No. Some of these women, it just doesn't feel like they have talent. It's more like they're just not trying.
Like they're not even up to the game, but they're not there. Like, and when their own player is getting the shit beat out of her in a game, they're not like, hey, I'm not cool with that. That's my fucking teammate.
Yeah, I saw that.
Letting it happen. They're just letting it happen. But since then, they've started to slowly stand up for her and stand up for each other, which is how it needs to be. I'm not a fan of fighting, but if your guy's getting like beat around, you need to you got to back the person up. I'm not a fan of fighting, but if it comes to it, you're gonna give me this level. I'm gonna meet you and go above.
I would say if people want to see a great representation of her play, watch Indiana Fever versus Minnesota Lynx. That's a pretty solid game, right there. Yeah. Probably. Oh wow, we had a foul till the very end. I remember that, and they were running the clock. There was like 16 seconds left, and they ended up winning it out. That was honestly probably one of the best games I had seen in a while. It was actually intense. You could see like it really meant something for them to get this win because they're behind. Now that they're ahead of this other team too. So, I hope that doesn't happen with my writing. Same for sports. You can love it but suck at it too. Well, just because those are kind of those aren't exactly mutually exclusive too. Because you could also not be good at something and improve at it too. It just depends on how you improve at it,
No, I get where she's coming from because I was never like the best, but I was a very athletic person. Basketball was my game. I was pretty goddamn good at basketball. Now I'm about 90 pounds heavier. I can't play for shit. My back's all fucked up. My knees all fucked up. But I mean, I love it, but I suck at it now. I get that's where she's coming from. That's what she means. So I'm assuming she means. Correct me if I'm wrong, love it. I'm pretty sure it's what you mean.
Oh, doctor's writing. Yeah. Klay Thompson to Dallas could be good. Him coming off the bench to be a rotation with Luka and Kyrie could be Letha. Yeah.
I'm calling it now. He is going to change that fucking team. I'm not saying he's like really great player, but
what if it's a Dwight Howard situation with Steve Nash with the Lakers?
I don't think so. I think the guy's still I think the guy still got gas in the tank. He hasn't really had a support a team he can fit in. He will fit in good in Dallas. He's going to fit in very good in Dallas.
Oof. It's so crazy that when we went over him leaving, I was like, wait a minute, he's been on there for a very long time. And to be fair, if you already win 3 rings with a team, or for how many rings you want, 4, 3, whatever.
4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did more than enough, on a team. Like, hey, I gave your org 4 rings. Yeah, I'm leaving. You all you did was just soak up money. All you did was just take shit. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, man. But let's see. Yeah, but that was it for some of the Caitlyn Clark games because you guys said to watch them. No, and to summarize what I was saying about her, she is really talented. I will say. I just feel like for other people on her team to just kind of step up a little bit more, it only really feels like I forgot the names yet because I have to remember. I'll get to be remembering names once I watch a bit more. It feels like there's only 2 other people really trying to put in the amount of effort that she is. And I don't know. I've seen that so many times with so many teams where that only goes so far. We saw with the Celtics, remember? Every person was on fire at the same time. Mavericks had
showed up to work.
2. Yeah. Mavericks like what? 2 people? Yeah, that's not enough.
And look, of watching the Mavericks play, watching them play in the previous rounds, dude, they were you could see them mentally. They were there. They got to the finals and it seemed like the team just forgot how to play basketball. They just didn't show up. I'm watching it's like, man, when are you guys gonna show what you're showing the previous round? Like there was nothing, man.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too, because when I was watching the Fever game versus Minnesota, the one you told me to watch, in the third and fourth quarter, I forgot who the girls are. Keep in mind, I can remember names later on. They put in one white girl and one black girl that's able to, like, when she passed it down to them, she was able to actually play defense and get the ball in for layups. What the hell were you? Why weren't they playing the first part of the quarter? Why weren't they playing? She put in, okay. She's like, I kind of want to win now. Cool. Now we get people in there that can help her out. Why does it feel like whatever the coach is doing, she has her and just basically some fucking Scotty Pimpin just with her? That's it.
Yeah, like she needs to come down, control that game, get the play moving, get the ball to someone else, then get open for a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need to do. They're
relying her. I think this is their strategy. This is what LeBron used to do a lot. They're basically relying on him doing everything to get a big enough lead. That way, if they do sub in her out or him out, they could make up the difference. The difference with that, people, the reason why you can't really do that with teams like that is because if she's worn out later on, like you could tell in that Minnesota game, she couldn't do it anymore. It's just when you meet a team that's basically all the players are firing on all cylinders, she herself can't be a difference maker enough. You have to have help. So whoever the coach is, they need to put in the other people that I saw. They need to start playing a lot more in first quarter. They don't need to be coming in third and fourth quarter, making this close there. They were like, what, almost 4 points off from losing that game. If they lost that game, they'd have been like, what, 8-11 or some shit? No, they'd have been like 9-11, 9-11, somewhere around there. Yeah. It's like people are starting to figure that whole team out. It's really just the Caitlyn Clark show, honestly, you know? I'll just say, I'll always have respect for Clay. The man came from back-to-back seasons of ACLs. That would break most players.
Yeah, like after spending 2 years out, that would just kill you. Like, you're not in shape. It's too hard to get back in shape when you get older. But that dude freaking bounced back. That was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It was nuts, man.
All right, let's go over this WNBA profit. NBA profit doesn't exist.
Just going back to what I said. She needs to be a point guard, control the flow of the game, get the ball off, get the offense moving, so she can get open for a shot, or have the defense think it's going to go back to her and get a player open. I mean, if they know you coming down, you're giving it to her, you done gave up most of your game plan. I mean, all we got to do is know it's coming to her. We just got to keep an eye on her.
Well, I want to ask you this, because remember how there was this big, conversation surrounding like the pay of the players. You know, Joe Biden. It's not Joe Biden tweeting this. It's obviously a social media intern doing this, or the Joe Biden in quotations put out a tweet where about the WNBA players not being paid as much as the men. It's like
they don't bring the money in.
Yeah. It's a pretty self-explanatory thing. These things don't even, dude, in life, why do people do that a lot? Why do people want like paragraph explanations when something is so simple to be said in like a few words? They are not as profitable because they don't have enough viewership to bring in money. Go ahead.
the reason they want a paragraph is because if they throw enough words out, they'll confuse you to the point where you say, you know what, you're right.
Because that's the thing, man, is everyone kind of wants a fucking 3-paragraph explanation. It's like, guys, traditional TV viewership relies on viewers. Viewers means more advertisers, which means more money for your channel. That's literally how it's always been for a very long time. So you factor in less viewers, less money. That's it.
I can boil it down to this. Was it CVS pulled out of New York City? Walgreens, which one was it? Last year?
Yeah.
They pulled out. They weren't making any money. So they can't keep the stores open. Can't pay the employees if the stores are bringing in money.
And by paying employees, you mean salaries, health benefits,
right?
Cost a lot of money.
If you're not bringing money in, how can you pay the players? And
isn't the WNBA sponsored by Coinbase, guys? Coinbase is the crypto sponsor.
Coinbase is huge, to be fair.
Coinbase is pretty huge,
but that, I mean,
that's
also being subsidized by the NBA. NBA is covering their other expenses.
Yeah, because people have to factor in, I'm not saying Coinbase is going to go under or they're scamming anyone, but it's pretty telling that a crypto sponsor has to sponsor the league, okay? Because without Coinbase, if crypto didn't exist, they'd have no sponsors. That's the sad reality of it,
True.
And this is something else people don't understand about business generally is, okay, so let's use Disney, for example. When Disney is doing something, and this is hypothetical because Disney doesn't really make as much money now in terms of media farm, but that's neither here nor there. So when Disney's doing like Pixar, MCU, Star Wars, okay? So you do enough to make sure each of them can be profitable on their own, not break even, profitable on their own, okay?
Yeah.
So that means when you're doing anything, you want that other part of it to be sustainable on its own, right? Not needing help from anything else, like Disney Plus. Yeah, Disney is a very rich, lucrative company, but that doesn't mean Disney Plus is profitable because they're hoping to build up Disney Plus to be profitable on its own. So that would mean that Disney has to take out money out of their own pocket just to keep Disney Plus alive, essentially. And this is just an easy explanation and example for people to use. Just because the company is doing well does not mean everything else in the company is doing well, right? This is how it is,
Yeah.
People see like, whoa, that one movie did very well. So that means no. That one movie and that one division did very well, not everything else. You can like fudge numbers and say, oh, this did very well. You can. It's not really a good thing. That's lying, essentially.
Yeah.
But just what it is.
Look, Deadpool Wolverine is going to make $1 billion. It's going to do well. That doesn't mean the MCU is saved. That doesn't mean the other movies are profitable. That means what's coming is going to be profitable. But that one part of the company is profitable. And if you want to look at it that way, the WNBA is essentially like, I'm going to use this term. I don't mean like they own them, but they own the WNBA. They're supplying the funds to keep them in business. So that's part of the NBA's business, and that part isn't making any money. At some point, they have to either pull the plug or find some way to generate money. Now, if I understand they can go overseas and make more money, are they now? That's something I never looked at, but something I always wanted to look at. I want to find their stats from their games overseas when they play overseas. Are their stats better than here?
I remember that one. Yeah, I remember the FTX arena thing. I remember FTX because FTX was a crypto sponsor that ended up being a huge scam thing for an org known as TSM. So TSM was an esport org, and they got a $200 million sponsorship for 10 years from FTX. Then Riot Games, who has a franchise league, and at the time was with TSM, they wanted FTX in their business too. The FTX ended up sponsoring the LCS in general, right? Then came, or you guys know the FTX story. It came out that it was a big scam. He was scamming a bunch of people. Yeah, crypto sponsors. I'm not saying Coinbase isn't legit. I'm not saying because I know other esport orgs sponsored by them. I think I know one or two. But like that is really shaky grounds,
Yeah.
It just is,
Yeah.
Dude, wait, what happened to the FTX arena then? Now that the guy ended up getting scammed, is in jail.
I don't know. I haven't really paid
I guess
attention.
I guess
I
the
read
city
that kind
paid
of
it off.
I don't know.
Like isn't that just so weird that they built an FTX arena? Oh god. Jazz told me that and I was like, oh god, man. Woo. There's all these other
oh, they did. Okay. Well,
they renamed it. Okay. Yeah, because they renamed oh my god, we had other sponsors in there too. Like we had Cloud9 had one, Dignitas had one. Yeah, there's just a bunch of crypto sponsors popping up. I'm like, this is looking really, really sus. I don't know.
Well,
whenever new things pop up like that, always gotta be a little cautious.
I know crypto was like trying to position itself to be the new next big
currency,
and it could have been and still can be. It's taken a huge step back in the last couple of years with FTX and just
now there's just Coinbase and Bitcoin are the only ones that I know, honestly.
Yeah, well,
Andrew Tate's trying to do one called Daddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I follow a lot. I have Dogecoin. No, I sold my Dogecoin. I have another dog token, but I mean, I'm just holding on to. I got like $20 worth. It's like 3 million shares or some shit. So if it ever does hit $1, yay. But yeah, I mean, it's still. I think it still has a thing. It can still be a thing. It's just gonna take. It'll be harder to get there. And yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. They're shooting themselves in the foot by trying to take her down instead of. I'm not saying ride her coattails, but use what she's doing for the game. Use what she's doing for the game to like make the game better, make the league better, make it better, and then go after her.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just trying to promote. Because I looked into the stuff you said. Sounds like they're just trying to make her the villain when it's like, what has she done? And she's pretty tame on social media too. She don't really tweet or anything. Well, all she'll post is like, I don't know, her stats. She'll post like pictures of her and her boyfriend. She really isn't doing anything, honestly. Like a villain is someone who goes out and is like, I'm the best. Your fucking team's trash. This league's trash. All you guys' moms are whores. Like, okay, that's the one you can make a villain out of. She isn't doing anything.
Like Angel Reese is making herself a villain. I know she mentioned something that she doesn't mind being a villain or whatever, but like, girl, why?
Oh, why? Why? Just read recently. They had her mom give comments on the racist backlash she's getting. What racist backlash is Angel Reese getting?
If there's anything race involved in it, you fucking brought it up. You brought race into it. Caitlyn Clark didn't say one fucking thing about anybody's race. She comes out there, she plays, she gets a shit kicked. And I don't want to hear about these players. Oh, that's just a rookie. That's just a rookie thing. I don't see other players getting fucking knocked down in between plays. I don't see anyone coming after any other rookies like that at all. Now recently, she started fighting back. Was it earlier this week or this weekend or the end of last week? I think she got a technical. She slapped the chick in the face, slapped the defender in the face. But the defender was, I'm not defending it. The defender was hounding her, and she just it seemed like she's had enough of their shit. Like she just started playing their game, which I'm not.
All right, here's what it is. But I found it. We'll go over this after we do the. No, we'll just do it before the money one because this came out July 13th. It's a 4-minute read. It's whatever. It's fine. Let's make this bigger. That's how my wife likes it. Everyone. Just the way my wife likes it.
Yeah.
God damn.
No,
look, you don't have to be an antagonist to be a villain. Yeah. Right. Like, I don't know. She's from Chicago. She kind of has that black girl attitude. I can just feel it off her.
I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I grew up in the dude.
And you have that black attitude too, right?
Ever. But yeah, the black attitude too. But Jordan was a fucking villain. Jordan was hated by every team in that league. Had someone who hated him. And I'm not saying. I mean, he that's what he did.
All right. Let's go over this because Darnell said he was a black guy. So, we got to give him black guy news. All right, let's go over this one. All right. Oh my God. What was all these ads? Angel Reese's mother unveils racist messages on her daughter's looks and skills from Caitlyn Clark supporters. I'll just say this right now. Angel Reese, your mother better not ever watch any of my shows. That might traumatize that hoe.
Come on.
Oh shit! I know. I will give it to her daughter. Her daughter is very talented.
She's talented. She is.
Gameplay is pretty good. I will give her that. It's not about looks, people. I'm only saying that because I'm, obviously making it more entertaining for you guys.
Right. She's good. She's really good at what she does. But she's bringing that brace. She's bringing that shit into it. She's talking shit that she doesn't need to talk. Just play the fucking game. Let your fucking skills do your talking. I've never been a trash talker. I hate trash talk. Like I remember I got punched in a game one time because dude kept talking shit to me. At one point, I just pointed the scoreboard. We were winning by like 15 points, and I think I hit 4 threes on him in the first half. And when I did the fourth one, I just pointed the scoreboard. He fucking clocked me in the face.
Wait,
I was like,
is it like 10-year time out there?
It's 9 o'clock.
You should be in bed. What little guy doing up?
It's summer. We kind of give him a little break during the summer.
Then I'm not moving my head. And how's it moving my head?
That's live. That is behind. That just blew his mind. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Walter, that's kind of where it comes from. When people talk shit and then they get mad when people talk shit back. It's like I don't know. Let your gameplay be your shit talk.
Yeah. I don't mind trash talk either. It's just it's whenever the trash talk boils into like dumb shit that doesn't need to be
Which
here.
is what always happens.
Yeah. Angel Reese's mother recently shared racist messages from Caitlyn Clark supporters. Keep in mind, Caitlyn Clark supporters, so not actually her, right? So I guess
what and nowadays your supporters are you. That's how the public sees it, and that's how businesses see it. Like if your friends do something stupid and you're being you have a business trying to recruit you, if there's shit your friends do and you're like there with them, it's a reflection of you now.
With former WNBA player Val Whiting highlighting mistreatment against the Chicago Sky rookie. According to the Atlanta Black Star, man. All right. Wow.
Wow.
Just wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Whiting posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Tuesday, sharing a screenshot she received from Reese's mother. The screenshot contained 2 messages targeting Whiting and her 22-year-old daughter. Angel Reese receives a significant amount of racially motivated hate.
Okay, so wait, stop for 1 second. So far, 2 messages. That's all that's been brought up is 2 messages. Okay, can go on.
I believe she receives more than any other player in the league, Whiting wrote, noting the one message from a man named William Martina who contacted Reese's foundation with his real name and email address.
It's because your daughter brings race into it. If you bring race into it, other people are going to bring race into it.
See right there? That's the propaganda. That's the narrative forming. Caitlyn Clark supporters.
Look, back in the day when people hated Jordan, they didn't say, oh, the white fans hate the black player. No one fucking cared about race.
Oh,
nobody gave a shit.
This is why people hate the media. People like this who wrote this article.
Yes.
People, God, man. And I'll give, whenever journalists write good articles we can use on streaming videos, I like that. That's good. But like stuff like this is so beyond stupid. They couldn't just say like, they could have said racist fans. I wouldn't like that either. But at least you don't like, whatever. Like, too much to go down that road.
She took the opportunity to talk shit about people hating her daughter because she's black, but her daughter brings up race all the fucking time. I mean,
all right. So I'll just go down. I don't want to read it anyway. I'm just lazy. Sorry, but you can't dress up as anything, but you are what you are. Thug comes to mind. Go, Caitlyn. Martina wrote in the message. Whiting also shared another message from someone expressing support for Clark, who asserted that the Indiana Fever rookie has contributed more to promoting WNBA basketball than Reese.
She fucking has.
God, man.
There's a reason why when she's in an arena, the seats are sold, more seats are sold in the thousands than normal. She has brought more to the game than any other rookie this year. I am sorry. And I said this, I didn't say this on the stream, but I said I'm saying it again. Reese is trying to drum up the fucking drama so she can try and have the same impact. That's not what she needs to do. Reason Caitlyn Clark has this fucking following and has this media draw behind her is because she's good. If Caitlyn Clark wasn't near as good as she is, no one would give 2 shits about her. She's good. Fuck.
I said, black bitch, you disgust me with your silly, jealous antics. Let your daughter shine and stop teaching her to be jealous to get attention. Stop being a black Gutter. Oh my God, is this my best friend? Stop being a black ratchet gutter bitch.
See, I see. I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. Like,
black women look bad and stop talking about Caitlyn Clark. She got that swag. She changing the game. Be glad your daughter got a chance to even play in the W. Because if it wasn't for Caitlyn Clark, nobody would know your low GPA having daughter. The message read.
To be fair, before the LSU Iowa game a year ago, I never heard of Angel Reese or Caitlyn
No one's
Clark.
heard of half these women here. Whiting also revealed some information about Martina's employment background. William Martina is the president of a company, yet he took time to racially bully and harass a young black woman. She continued, Angel's mom said that they get these type of emails and text messages every week. In a follow-up tweet, Whiting also noted that while Clark has faced racially motivated comments from Reese supporters, they pale in comparison to the negativity she has endured throughout her college and professional basketball career. Please note that I realize Caitlyn Clark has received race-based hate as well, and some of that has come from Angel Reese stands, but this post is about the extreme nature of what Angel Reese goes through, Whiting tweeted.
Yeah, like, of course, she in the article she mentions that, or towards the end of our middle article.
Yeah.
Finally, it's like, oh yeah, I understand. She gets that shit too.
Daddy.
What?
Yes.
Is someone saying what he was
This
saying?
is after that one. No, yeah, Walter, agreed. 100%. That game was televised, was the most televised game of the year because of the rivalry. But I had never heard of either of those players before. I never heard of and so what I'm saying is Reese is trying to build up this following like Caitlyn Clark has, and she's playing the victim. Her mom's playing the victim. Her daughter's was her daughter receiving this kind of shit before she started talking shit in post-game interviews or talking shit on social media? Was she receiving that kind of shit before? We don't know because you didn't tell us. You only started talking about it after your daughter started bringing this just attention to herself.
It said, the post garnered a mixture of opinions from ex-users who shared their thoughts on both players. This has always been the undertone since Angel did the hand gesture 2 years ago. The media, as well as sports media, has pushed the same undertone from then until now. That's why they advertise Caitlyn as much as they have, one user said. Okay, so that is also, media does this a lot. So I know a lot of people have asked, like, well, if I see another good person in anything, whether it be comics, movies, anything, why is that person like getting pushed? The media is just very selective on who they really want to push to you to be like the hero, whatever. That's not a disagreeable thing. That literally happens in everything.
Agreed. And look, that LSU game, LSU Iowa game, when I watched it, I'm an LSU guy. Louisiana, LSU's my college I prefer to watch. To me, Iowa was the villains. Caitlyn Clark pulled the hand gestures. That was like, fuck you, you lost. But after watching what happened the summer and then the following season, I'm like, oh well, wait, maybe Caitlyn Clark isn't the fucking villain. Maybe it's the other players. And sure enough, that's what's turned into.
Not true. Most of the people commenting on Caitlyn Clark are responding to the racial attacks on Reese. This is the clap back to them. The racism Reese is receiving is organic and came in waves. Organic racism. What? Is there like vegan racism? Is there like keto racism? Okay. I also partially blame Caitlyn Clark for not denouncing the racism. She doesn't need to. Who gives a fuck?
Read the next sentence.
Not her responsibility, but say something another user said.
Why? Why? It's not her responsibility.
Earlier this month, both
Walter,
Reese and Clark.
I'm sorry, no.
You're fine. No, you lagged out for a second there.
Go on.
Earlier this month, both Reese and Clark will be teammates for this year's WNBA All-Star Game in Phoenix on July 20th. The pair will play for Team WNBA and face off against the U.S. women's basketball team. Okay.
What the fuck? That's the All-Star game? That's horse shit. That's WNBA versus WNBA. That's all it is.
Do you know what would
be
be
East versus West? Good God.
Okay, I will say this.
Oh my god.
What they could do.
That's
they
as
could do.
bad.
Do a male
That's as
all-star
bad
match.
as the NBA All-Star game. Yeah, play against the male All-Stars. This idea with the game is as bad as Team LeBron versus Team Curry. That was stupid as fuck. East versus West. That's the All-Star game. Am I still lagging?
Oh, I know, you're fine. I was just, if they want to spice up ratings, because people are like, well, the girls can. I've seen some comments in somebody's comment section of some of these videos. They're like, well, the girls can battle the guys in the NBA. Put the best girls with the best guys. Sure. If we're talking about all-star shit that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, sure. And you can just see how badly they are compared to the guys. Sure, go ahead. Honestly, if you did that, that would actually boost your ratings for the weekend. I'm not even kidding you. I would actually watch that. Just see how badly they would get torched into the ground.
I would love to. I would love to see a WNBA All-Star team. Like, forget team women's basketball. Just an All-Star team playing against the men's league, the men's USA team. Considering they're getting almost beat by their alternates and prepping for the Olympics. The men are you saw that video I sent you about that little white dude?
Yeah,
he's making him fucking look bad. And he's a freshman in college.
Put the Lakers summer team against them. Do that. That would be, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That would boost their ratings. Would that not be like hype as fuck?
Yep.
Like put LeBron James' son versus Caitlyn Clark. Implosion of ratings.
Oh, dude, I would watch
black people versus white people. I haven't watched a live game in forever. I would sit down and watch that. That sounds honestly amazing. LeBron James' son versus Caitlyn Clark. That sign me up. You just take my money. But then again, I require good ideas, and they're not having that. WNBA.
I'm telling you,
to lose.
Give us 2 years. We're going to be doing commentating for the WNBA. Give us 2 years.
I would just say Angel Reese is black and deserves to be in Planet of the Apes. I'm going full mask off racism. She ain't getting no praise at all.
Oh my god.
Her mom might actually have a heart attack from all the racism I'm about to put on her daughter. All right. WNBA expected to lose $50 million in 2024 despite surging interest. Losses set to increase fivefold as league continues to bleed money amid record attendees and viewership. Wow.
There's a reason for that, but yeah.
Oh, there's many reasons. Walter says
the main reason is
he says G League versus WNBA is beneficial for both. And think about it. In the case of G League, that they'll be playing Hungary because it's eyes on them for a shot. Yeah. No, dude.
We're serious too. We'd watch the fuck out of that.
Literally. Put LeBron James's, I know his son's on the Lakers summer team right now or whatever. Put that Lakers summer team he's on right now versus that team with Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark on. I flat out guarantee you that'll be the best viewership they have had in years. More probably just ever in general. But that require the people behind the scenes trying to run the league making good ideas. Because if the ratings are this bad and they're losing this much money as we go down further in this, they have to do something, guys. They have to do something. Or you're going to, I don't know if they'll ever cut out teams of the league or something. What if it ever got bad to the point where you had less teams in the league or the women make less money? Remember, the women would make less money if there's less money being funneled into the scene. It's just how it works,
Walter, real quick, I watched Big Three yesterday. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the 3-on-3 format, but the half court, I don't know. It just seems like it's more street ball and then regular, but then I guess regular, then other basketball. I'm not a fan of street ball because it's the talking shit and all the flash. I used to watch a lot of the Big Three. I don't much anymore. Go on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, fine. Someone was messaging me. Says right here, WNBA. I'll say this right now. Hey, if any of the hot single ladies in the WNBA want to, lick my butthole, always there. WNBA has lost an average of more than $10 million per year, according to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. League could triple its annual rights revenue between $180 million and $200 million from 2025 NBA negotiating broadcast deals for both parties. And you can know that's how most of these sports league make money is like broadcasting deals to be a part of like YouTube, Paramount, all that stuff. Well,
it used to be easy to catch a game. Now it's not.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're able to do that, the reason why YouTube or like Paramount is paying top dollar for the stuff is because they know it's going to be high viewership and maybe you drive in like subscriptions and extra revenue. I'll be honest here, I don't know who's in charge of negotiating the rights for this. That must be a nightmare. It doesn't bring in any, it barely gets viewership now. How in the world are you going to negotiate how much money you're trying to sell this for as a package deal when it doesn't really offer you anything? Because that they have no leverage.
No.
You know? This mostly would just be like as an added on thing to something.
The only thing they could do is like leveraging people, companies is that, hey, if you don't take the women, we're going to pull ourselves from your broadcasting as well.
Oof.
Which I wouldn't be surprised seeing in this day and age, seeing that shit happen.
The Women's National Basketball League is reportedly set to see losses rise to around $50 million this year, despite a record-breaking start to its 2024 season. The North American League ended May with its highest attended opening month in 26 years and record viewership across ABC, ESPN, and CBS. However, the WNBA remains unprofitable in its 28th year.
Yeah. I mean, look. The Arena Football League.
They're doing great!
Arena Football League keeps shutting down because they bring no money in. But it's fun. It's fun as fuck football to watch. It's very fast, fun football. I loved it. I remember the New Orleans Voodoo was the top. We had the top attendance 2 years in a row, and the top merchandise sales of the New Orleans Voodoo 2 straight years by a wide margin. Hurricane Katrina came, the team folded, shut down, gone, because they weren't making any money. They were the only team. They were the highest attendance and the highest amount of shit merchandise sold, but they weren't making any money. It tells you something. And they keep getting canceled or shut down because they make no money. No one's screaming to give the arena football players NBA pay.
Yeah.
I mean, NFL pay, I'm sorry. Because it's just not bringing the money in.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said in 2018 that the WNBA had lost an average of more than $10 million annually since its founding, and the Washington Post has now reported that the league and its teams are expected to lose around $50 million in 2024, a 5-fold increase on the current average. Securing a lucrative domestic rights deal from 2025 will therefore be crucial in the WNBA's quest for profitability, but its recent audience growth means the league is in a strong negotiating position. Who paid top dollar for this before this year? That means these companies are just throwing away money. Who paid for that shit?
And look, I just thought about this. Betting. I go to betting's legal now in Louisiana, so I've gotten into betting.
Mm-hmm.
I go to most of the betting apps to find a W. I can go right now to the betting app. Let me back up. During the NBA season, I go to betting app. I look at the NBA. I tap NBA. I can go look at the games or tap futures. It predict who's the MVP, predict the rookie of the year, predict this, predict who's going this, predict who's going that. You look for the WNBA, you ain't got shit. You can't bet on any of this stuff. If I could bet, I guarantee I'd be watching more of these games. If I had a stake in the game.
The influx of college stars such as Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese has helped fuel fresh interest in the WNBA. Notably, Clark's regular season debut for the Indiana Fever averaged 2.12 million viewers on ESPN2, making it the most watched WNBA game in 23 years. Oh, God. Guys, that means the highest viewed game was in 2001. I was 6 years old at that point.
You know, there's something funny about the league.
The league itself is a joke.
So wait.
That's the joke.
The WNBA came about in 1998, 99?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. The Houston Comets were my fucking team.
Mm-hmm.
They won the first 3 titles. they shut down after that because they were broke. They had made no money.
Wow, I didn't know
The
that.
champion team, the champions, three times straight, three-peat, shut down because they had no money.
The Fever have already surpassed their total home attendance for the entire 2023 season after just 5 games, thanks to the arrival of Clark, who is arguably the most talked about athlete in the U.S. The WNBA will welcome Toronto as its 14th franchise and first outside of the U.S. in 2026, and league commissioner Kathy Eaglebert said last month that she was pretty confident of expanding to 16 teams by 2028.
That could help having more.
Having more teams could help? I don't know, man. I think having more and more teams could hurt. No one watches them now.
It can open up because I know if I could be wrong on this, but it's like the same thing with like the NFL. If there's no team in your area, you may not have a broadcast. Like it's the Saints. When I watched the NFL, the Saints were my team. I remember back in the 90s, this was a big thing in the 80s. If there wasn't a sellout, the game was not broadcast on TV.
Oh, I know.
It was not a home sellout. It's not on TV.
It's basically like if you don't see it, you don't know it exists kind of thing.
Right.
So if you have something that can be home tangible to yourself, I see the idea, but the problem here is people aren't even doing that with their home teams right now.
Right.
You know? That's the problem, though. Is that what you're saying is true, and that is very good to get new people in.
Right.
But if the people that are in it right now don't even use that opportunity, how would a new person use it then?
Well, look at this. Mm-hmm. Most of these teams, all these teams are in major NBA cities.
True. Mm-hmm.
Except for Vegas. Vegas, from what I understand, has a huge following at their games. Mm-hmm. New Orleans probably wouldn't have a huge following because they got the Pelicans, but they kind of suck. But if you put markets in other teams in other markets, there may be a bigger following there because they don't have like like the Lakers have, like LA has the Lakers and the Clippers. The Lakers are, one of the most winning franchises in history. The Clippers, and then you got the LA Sparks. People may not go to their games because they get the fucking Lakers to watch. Why would I be interested? Excuse me, in this when I have another team, another winning team to root for. Like kind of like what they're saying with the Marvel, oversaturation is killing the market.
Mm-hmm.
Like bring a team to a market that doesn't have a good team, or bring a team to a market that's not tapped yet, like Wisconsin. Find a Wisconsin put a Wisconsin team up there.
The ownership group of the Golden State Valkyries, who begin play in 2025, will reportedly pay a record $50 million expansion fee.
Wow.
Ian Gilbert has therefore been bullish about the WNBA's next domestic broadcast rights deal from 2025 and said she hopes to at least double the value of the league's current contracts with ESPN and Amazon, which are reportedly up to worth $60 million a season. The NBA, which owns roughly 60% of its female counterpart and has pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into the league, remains in negotiations for rights deals for both competitions, which reports say are set to be delivered, or pressure is supposed to be set to deliver more than $7 billion in total per year. That would represent a significant uplift on the annual $2.7 billion that the NBA gets under its current arrangement.
Wow.
That's how. No wonder why they could subsidize this league. No wonder why. They're bringing in that much money per year. That's insane. Mm-hmm. According to the Washington Post, the WNBA could be in line to triple its annual rights revenue between $180 million and $200 million in the next cycle. That's the problem here. Okay, so I know I just kind of got into watching this a little bit. You got to factor into yourself that people have been making these deals for years and saying that probably for years. And how am I supposed to believe that just right now that's going to happen? There's no way I believe they were just saying this right now. That they've been saying this for years. Oh, it's going to get better year on, year out. It's not. It's got better actually right now.
Saints fans did the same shit. Next year's our year. It's just at some point it's like, okay, whatever.
Dumb business lingo that I've realized over the years. It was reported in March that the WNBA could seek to unbundle some of its media rights from the NBA to try and maximize those revenues. The NBA, though, is not separating the rights of both leagues in the ongoing negotiations, and Silver has said that the WNBA should continue to be integrated media rights deals with its male counterpart. You know what? Why that is, guys? They know they can't sell it as a separate thing. No one's going to pay top dollar for it if it's separate. If it's its own separate entity, it's not worth it. It just isn't.
No.
Angel Burt, though, remains supportive of the league going to market with the NBA, describing the proposition as a huge advantage, which appeals to streaming services who rely on a 12-month subscription model and want to fill their sports content slate year-round. Yeah, that will be true for talking about 5 years ago. Streaming services have been cutting quite a bit of content recently.
Well, I think this move for the WWE to Netflix is gonna possibly change.
Yeah,
that is possibly gonna help something like this happen or push leagues to make more deals with streaming services. If this Netflix deal with WWE like blows up, you watch the streaming services start scrambling to get sports leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Watch.
The WNBA is going from strength on the court, but this reported loss for 2024 highlights that the league still relies heavily on the NBA. It also shows that even the most high-profile women's sports leagues still need to invest ahead of revenue before they can be expected to turn a profit. That's so bad. They're just throwing money down the drain constantly. Like, how many years have they invested into this and it hasn't brought them profit? That's awful, man. That's just so bad. I'm
gonna be an optimist. Say give it a couple of years. Caitlyn Clark has changed the way people watch women's basketball. Give it a couple more years, see what happens.
If she or Angel Reese can't change it, my time to just call it curtains here, honestly.
Yeah.
It just treated as just a money loss like you had before. But never know. While revenue looks set to rise, only 40% of WNBA revenue reaches clubs and athletes, according to the Washington Post, which reports that the NBA pockets around 40% and outside investors also get a cut. It means the WNBA's financial windfall for its next TV deal is affected, as are franchise valuations. In contrast, revenue is distributed equally amongst the NBA's 30 clubs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, WNBA players have previously expressed frustration over an apparent lack of transparency about the league's finances, and they could opt out of the current collective bargaining agreement, which runs until 2027 before the 2025 season. That's the union thing they're a part of, right?
Yeah. Like what that means is like the league is not being like not open about where the more the money is going, and the players can opt out and strike before next season. Hey, we want to change this. We're not coming to work until we change it.
The NBA remains an active partner in the WNBA, and its support has undoubtedly helped grow the league. Yet, stakeholders must ensure a strategy in place to support the WNBA's path to profitability, which would eventually enable the league to operate more independently and make more of its own decisions. Yeah, because the problem here is that so basically, to summarize this for everyone who doesn't understand all the business lingo, the NBA owns most of it. And the money that and a decent portion of the billions of dollars that they make already goes to the teams that they have in the males league and to the investors and everyone else, right? Then a decent amount of that is basically subsidizing the WNBA. And then that money is already tied up to investors and all the people that they just talked about. So that kind of leaves like less money for the players.
So out of the 100% that they bring in, 40 goes to the NBA, 20 goes to investors, and 40 goes to the teams. So they're splitting 40% of the profits. Which, even though you only have 16 teams, it's not much.
Yeah. And they want to add more teams, take away more of that pie from the already existing teams.
And if, based on what their commissioner said, if they can get a deal in place where they don't have to rely on the NBA anymore, I think that when they stop relying on the NBA, or if they can get to that point, they'll stop giving NBA as much money. I think I've got to say there's got to be some kind of deal, something in the deal
that only relies on them being profitable on their own, because if they're profitable on their own, they can make their own decisions.
Right. Yeah. Like the more profitable they are, they can start taking away the NBA's control.
Yeah.
You're
remember, they're only going to be able to get the media rights deals if they're sold as a package deal with the NBA, because no one's going to buy that. Who would buy that separately? Bro, they haven't had a good high view game since 2001.
Yeah,
There's so many complications with this and strings.
Right.
Oh my god!
Look, and we're in the middle of this season, and so far, the people still watching. Excuse me, arenas are still selling tickets for Caitlyn Clark. We're still in year one. If this gets better next year, dude, if they somehow win a title, holy shit! I think the league's gonna. And I'm not saying it's fixed, but if there is a fix in the WNBA, you need to get Indiana and win your title. That will just ignite interest and ignite rivalries all throughout the league.
And some of the stuff that I already knew about from league, and I've been following NBA stuff for a long time, so I knew about most of the stuff, but I didn't know the true ins and outs of the WNBA because obviously, like, I didn't care because it's women. Like, women are just not interesting when it comes to sports. But it's nice to know this stuff. That way, you can accurately break down why things are the way they are. Because if you actually dive into them, it's more fun to actually know and dive into them because now you can understand why things are as bad as they are. And you have this, and that's the problem with having this many investors, this many middlemen, and the NBA having all that control over it. Well, like, if they're the ones, if the male side is making all the money, well, yeah, the girls side kind of doesn't get to make the decisions, though. It's just what it is, though. If they're not driving genuine interest in the league, more viewership, they're going to make less money by default. That's how they get money, is viewership. It's literally all it's based around, and advertisers. You get less advertisers if there's less viewers because advertisers don't want to advertise their products in a league with no viewers. That's how it works. So they're in a pickle here. So literally, expanding to me is really risky because that would mean that they're hoping that more Caitlyn Clarks pop up in the next 2 years when they're expanding on these other teams that they're going to try and put in the league. Or they're going to put in more teams when they already can barely pay the players they have now on these other teams that exist. Oh, this is about to blow up, man. Oh, God, this is pretty bad.
That's what I said. If they go to a market that is hungry for sports.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when I found out the Hornets were coming to New Orleans, I damn near blew my load all over the freaking.
I did that yesterday
from wherever I was because at the time I was a massive basketball fan and I was hungry for basketball. I only seen one professional basketball game. It was an exhibition game between the Bulls and the Nuggets in '91 in the Superdome in New Orleans. And no, I'm sorry, I saw a few Rockets games. I lived in Houston.
Oh, the Caitlyn Clark NBA salary.
But man, if they get a good market hungry for sports, they can really hit gold. But Walter also brought up Juju Watkins. That chick, if she keeps getting better, that's gonna be another fucking good rivalry to see. Yeah.
Was there anything else with the WNBA? Because so right now they're gonna do All Stars, and that's this week coming up. That's on the 20th. So after that weekend, then the WNBA goes back to the regular season or goes in the playoffs.
It goes back to the second half. It's like two halves of the season.
Okay.
They have the All-Star break. There's the break. It gives them 3 days of no games. Like 3-point shootouts and just kind of playing around.
Yeah. So when does the WNBA return after that 3-day period? So what 24th probably?
Usually like the day after All-Star game, the games start again.
Okay. So we won't have to wait. Okay. So we'll do more coverage of games. We'll just pick out the ones to watch, stuff like that. And yeah. This is pretty bad. I don't know how they've kept this league alive all these many years. Money laundering, probably.
Well, just talk to Disney. They know how to do it.
Yep. So, yeah, man, anything else you want to say before we head out of this, actually?
No, man. I got to go to the bathroom before we start the other show. That's about it.
So, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Iron Man podcast. We'll be able to talk about more of the WNBA. We're just kind of using this as practice until we get to the NBA later on because I like practicing on the girls before I can practice on the men. And we'll see you guys in the next episode of the Iron Man podcast. Goodbye, everyone.